Sorry for the early surprise. I had to do early surprise. Why is my thing like that? What the heck? What the heck? Hold on. Fix that. That's weird. That's like that. Don't do that. I'll put it over here. Whatever. Okay. Hi. Hi, everybody. Hello, hello, hello. Hi, hi, hi. Hey. I know it says Game Dev Wednesday. I want to talk first. Hi, Katie. I want to talk a little first. On a serious. First of all, William, thank you for the 91 months. Holy shit, you are the MVP. Let's go. Thank you so much. I deeply appreciate your support for all these years. Holy shit. Like, let's go. I love you. Thank you. But I do want to talk first. Because quite frankly, I'm a little tired. I always say that. That's a constant with me. Whenever you ask, how's Michaela? Tired is generally like 95% of the term you're gonna use when you're like, how's Michaela doing? Tired. But well, I see a couple. Well, first of all, let me address something. Like, first, I see a couple of new names in the room. I see a couple of new names and all that stuff. First of all, hi, my name is Michaela Laws. I voice act for a lot of people. So if you recognize me from Sylvana from Half-Mao, or like Lynetta from Sucker for Love, or things like that, hi. Did not sleep well. I feel you so hard, Katie. Maybe not like physically, but like metaphorically. The definition of tired is Michaela. Yeah, pretty much. Scale of 1 to 10, how tired are you? Like an 8. I'm not gonna lie. So I kind of want to talk first because next week I'm gonna be straight up. Next week I have construction happening at my house, so a stream's not gonna happen next Wednesday. So because of this and because of a lot of upcoming developments in my professional career, I've had to kind of take a step back and kind of like take a look at the bigger picture of what the heck's going on. Because the last thing I want is to run myself ragged to where something falls beneath my fingertips and I suddenly start tumbling down. That's the one thing I want to avoid. And I'm sure my mods would be very grateful that I don't just crash and burn and just cause everyone distress or anything like that. So I've had to step back and kind of like take a look at like the bigger picture of what's going on. I've had to change a couple of things behind the scenes at the behest of the people who hire me. And it's been like a big shift in how I work, and it's not necessarily a good thing, but I have to agree to it because that's how they want results. And so being that I have little to no choice in the matter, I kind of have had to adjust to things, and it's been kind of affecting me mentally. So because of all this, I've had to kind of prioritize things again and try to reorganize my life. And I find that I have even less time to myself than I want. To where like the once a week 3-hour slot that I have for myself is constantly being like pushed or questioned. And that's not to say like the easiest answer would be for me to tell people to fuck off and just let me do what I want. But professionally, that's not necessarily a good look. I already have the reputation that I'm a little bit of a wild animal when it comes to like work. I have a reputation of just like I work very sporadically. I work very quickly. I'm a manager's worst nightmare. As in, like, if I had a manager just for myself, for my like professional streaming purposes, scheduling purposes, they would fucking rip their hair out because of how crazy my thing is. Doesn't mean you maybe are maybe focusing on game development again. I know focusing on the bigger picture projects have changed because I appreciate that. Different in a way. So again, like I had to step back and kind of like figure out what the hell's going on in my life, because I do have to listen to the practice I preach. Because I constantly tell people like self-care, make sure you do something fun, make sure you take care of yourself, things of that nature. I always try and like push like for my friends to be like, hey, burnout is sucky, please make sure you take care of yourself. I always like ask anyone who's I consider a friend, that's the first thing I tell them when I see them stress out. The thing is, I had to practice what I preach. Another construction, yeah, we have to build like a pseudo French drain near my house, or else the basement that I live in is gonna flood. So it's like, yeah, I have a lot of shit that I gotta do. But regardless, essentially, because I do a lot of work that I'm very sporadic at, and now I'm forced to kind of do a different way for another client, I'm kind of having to prioritize like what the heck my time is kind of balanced out so I can at least have time for myself. And it's come to the unfortunate point that I'm getting burned out of my own work working on other things. So it's not, again, I want to reiterate that I'm not mad or I'm not upset at that I'm working on other people's stuff instead of my own. Like, I love working on the scripts. I love working on multiple stuff with other people. Like, I just announced that I started working with Vantacrow. I'm very, very excited and happy to work with him. I'm happy and excited to continue working with Roy, etc., etc. I'm not mad working for people. I'm not mad about that. I'm not upset. It's just, it's the part of me understanding that the work that I do for them is the thing that pays the bills, versus me making my game, Home on the Strange, which is also a creative project, but the energy that I put into that, I've already been putting into other people's projects. So I find myself like, I'm happy to write for Home on the Strange, but in terms of like just recently, like the last stream that I did for Home on the Strange was making the sprites, and I was getting very fucking frustrated at that. It was to the point where I'm pretty sure me saying, okay, I can have a business meeting during my usual time, or I just need to play a game during my time rather than work on Home on the Strange, is because of my frustration at not being able to properly make a sprite for my thing. Want to have a commission mindset? Do what you're paid to do. Listen to the customer. No, I do. MKU, I do. That's the problem. I do. Like, I focus hardcore on my other things that when I want to work on my stuff, I'm burnt out. So it's not a matter of I don't want to do it. I do want to do it. I do want to work. I do want to work on other people's projects, and it's fun. But because I'm so creatively like spread out that way, me coming back home and working on my stuff, I'm tired. I'm fucking tired. Do you have other people who help you work on the strangers? It's solo work right now. It's solo work because I just don't have the money to fork over to an artist or to an assistant programmer or to anyone and be like, hey, make this for me. I'm not at that stage yet. I want to make sure that with Home of the Strange, everything is set, so that way when I do hire out and get like an artist, sound designer, programmers, and all that stuff, I know what the hell I'm talking about, and I'm not just floundering around like, well, we could do this, we could do that, we could do this, we could do that. No. This is what I want. Please do what I want. So that way I can get it done in the most efficient way possible, so I'm not making people wait for the game. That's the one thing that would drive me the fucking wall, is me like floundering about not knowing what the fuck I want for the game that I am designing, and then all of a sudden making people like wait for it because I can't make a fucking decision. So yeah, I'm trying to do everything right now solo as much as I can. I know Demon already has like stepped up to do better design work for my characters, which is fantastic. Artie's designs are fucking phenomenal. But it's just a matter of when I get to the official stuff, I need to make sure that I have my shit ready. As if at least I want to. I'm very humbled and honored about that. I'm very humble and honored that people want to work with me. Like, I've been reached out by people I didn't expect to reach out to me. And I'm very stunned and I'm very shocked and very humbled. So I'm very excited for more things to happen. I can't talk about the things that I'm working on because those are coming up in the future. But I'm working on a lot of things behind the scenes. It's not just like ANBW and Roy and Vanta. There's like a bunch of other people that I work for. And it's fantastic and phenomenal and humbling, and I'm very, 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 very honored. But because of all of this, because of the work that I'm doing, coming back to HOTS, I get frustrated at the most minor of things. It's easy to look at what I've done for the sprites, like the walking sprite animation, and be like, oh, you did it, you got it, you made it work. But for me, mentally, I was screaming at myself like, this is not good enough, this is not good enough, this is not good enough, this is not going to be worthy to give to an artist, this is not going to be helpful for an artist, what if this doesn't work for programming? I'm easily frustrated. So for me, it might just come down to me just finding a sketch artist or someone who is better at sprite art than me and just going and seeing if I can take the time to be like, hey, work with me through this because I am not educated enough to handle this on my own without getting frustrated. Please walk me through this. So that way I could at least have something that I can start programming in and be able to get my hands on Godot. So, and MKU, I appreciate it, but it has to be someone who knows sprite work, who knows the format and the organization of how to do sprite work in Godot. So it's one of those things where like I need to have access to someone who knows or who has experience with that, so that way when I go in, I'm not like, oh my god, what the fuck, what am I doing? I already have someone who's guided me through and be like, hey, do XYZ. It's like, okay, all right, I'll do XYZ, and then if it works, it works. If it doesn't, then I try and figure out from that point what happened, rather than me just floundering about and all of a sudden like, what the fuck am I doing? And I mess up so horridly that other people being like, well, you should have done X, Y, and Z. I'm like, well, I should have, but I didn't know. So it's like, yeah. So that's the thing. That's why I wanted to talk today a little bit, because I realized that me like giving way to all that stuff and just letting people have me scheduled in rather than me just being like, no, I need these hours for myself to work on my stuff. Please leave me alone. It's a weird fucking balance to deal with. You're doing great. You just remind yourself that Jesus has you covered under his face. Like under his face is enough if it should be good. I deeply appreciate it. Thank you so much. God be with you. But I know in this time things are tough and frustrating, but what's one thing you're proud of in all the work you're doing? I'm excited to keep going. I genuinely, guys, my spirit, I genuinely want to keep going. I genuinely want to keep game development work. I think I'm just so spread out so much, and not in a bad way, but in a very humbling and honorable way, that me coming back to my own work is like, oh, I'm adding more work to my work to my work. As much as I love game dev work, I love having time for myself. I like being able to practice what I preach and saying self-care. I find myself looking at games that people are playing and be like, God, I want to play that. I want to play that so much, but I have work to do. God, I want to play that, but I have work to do. God, I want to play that, but I have work to do. And I think at this point, I have to kind of rebalance my life. I have to rebalance everything. That being said, I have time slots of when I need to work on things. I have time slots of when I'm available for my voice acting, my writing, my directing, my organization work, blah, 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 blah. I have time slots for those. My main free time is the 3 hours I get on Wednesdays. Because that's when I've scheduled out Game Dev Wednesdays, obviously. And then Fridays and Sundays, but typically those days are filled up with family shit or filled up with something out of my control, which is not like work related, but something that I have to pay attention to. So the joke is you're spreading your toast running on Mickey butter. Oh my god. So that being the case, I might start flipping the Wednesday streams for either, like, I'll do Game Dev Wednesdays, but there may be some Wednesdays where I just play a game. So it won't be every Wednesday game development day. It won't be every Wednesday game development stream. It may be like, hey guys, I'm tired. We're gonna play a game, or we're gonna play something, or we're just gonna chill. We're gonna do a Zatsu or something like that. Like it's something where like those 3 hours on that Wednesday is dedicated to something that I want to do. And if I have the energy to HOTS, which is going to be like 90% of my expectation, that is going to be the Wednesdays. But if there is that 10% of God, fucking everything just piled up at once, I got booked on all these different things, I'm very tired, then that moment will be like, hey guys, we're just gonna game, or we're just gonna chill or something. And depending on if I'm awake in the middle of the fucking night, like, because my sleep schedule, again, I'd like to reiterate my sleep schedule to people. I work from 4 p.m., like 4 p.m. in the middle of the day to 8 a.m. the morning after. That's my sleep. Like, that is my schedule. Like, I work from 4 p.m. to 8 a.m. and then I sleep from 8 to 4, hopefully without waking up sometime before, in the middle of that. If I wake up in the middle of that, then I get cranky. But I have PCOS insomnia, and it's one of those shit situations where I'm like, I have to listen to my body. And if I'm awake, I am awake. So because of that, if I don't have scheduled slots, times for like me doing my main work with Nut Between Worlds, or like with scripts or all that stuff that I'm scheduled in, then I may stream in the middle of the night. I may do middle of the night streams. It sucks because it's I know a majority of my audience is American, but I work at night. That's my typical awake time. While my family is sleeping, like they go to bed at like 10 and they wake up at 5 a.m. I am literally awake in the basement working on scripts. I am the graveyard shift. And it's been like that for a couple of months now, where I am awake in the middle of the night. So that being the case, I may do sporadic streams of just like, hey guys, I need to just get away from work, please. I'm just gonna stream. It'll typically probably be like the Friday morning ? But that's a very sporadic and very rare occasion where like I'm not slated for work. So, but otherwise, I'm just trying to rebalance my life. So that's why I wanted to talk first. Because I'm like, today I'm gonna be honest, I'm not prepared. I'm not prepared because a bunch of shit just came up on my lap, and a bunch of things, like, I had to reorganize everything and kind of get things through. And also I'm preparing for my birthday. So I have to make sure that because September I want to try and make it as stress-free as possible. So I'm saddling a lot of stuff this month to make sure that September is free of stress. So I am a little exhausted. The stream might be very short, or it might be very long, depending what happens from here on in. I don't know. But that's kind of what I wanted to talk about mainly, is that Wednesdays may be kind of flippable depending on how burnt out I am. If I'm extremely burnt out, then Wednesdays will probably be a game day. But if I'm expecting like the 90% of that where I'm okay and just not having people schedule in into that time slot, then I will be working on HOTS. And what I'm probably going to do next time we come around for HOTS is I'm probably going to go back to scripting, and then off time I'm going to try and reach out to artists and be like, hey, who has experience with sprite working in Godot? So I can like dig into your brain a little bit and figure out how to organize this properly so that I'm not scrambling to like fix shit midway through. because I realize that I'm not efficient at art in the case of making art assets for a game program. And I want to make sure that I don't trip over some sort of twig on the way there. Sprite working in the dough. You want to pour Sprite in a cookie dough? Right? Okay, you're right. So yeah, that's kind of the big thing that I wanted to kind of talk about. It might be putting themselves out of the business of the ID and the tracking rules. Yes, it's dumb. I'll state my piece, and I'll keep it very brief because I don't want to harp too much on my opinion about it because I've already yelled about it on Twitter and Blue Sky, whatever. Censorship is dumb as fuck, in my humble opinion, and I say this as someone who lives between reality and fiction. I have the mental capability. Censorship is dumb as shit. In my opinion, censorship is dumb as bricks. Because it shouldn't be up to a government or any sort of political, or company policy to monitor what kids do. It should be parents. Parents should be the ones in the forefront of protecting their kids from adult shit. It's lazy fucking parents that allow their kids to see stuff they're not supposed to see. Because we already do our due diligence to make sure that everything is labeled properly. We're not trying to go out of our way and be like, hey kids, want to see some boobies? Like, no, we're not. No. Anyone who does that shit needs to be slapped across the fucking mouth. But majority of people who have brains are not going to sit there and try and trick kids into looking at adult stuff. That's dumb as fuck. Kids need to stay out of adult shit. Everyone that I've worked with, and currently work with, agrees. Kids need to fucking stay out of adult spaces. But that requires parents actually doing their jobs and making sure that their kids don't access those adult spaces. Because kids are smart. As much as we like to infantilize them, kids are fucking smart. I would know. I was a kid that broke through into adult spaces. So, if a kid is curious, they're going to find a way to access it, and they're not going to give a shit of the consequences that comes out of it. Especially not in the moment. I've said this story before, and I'm much more comfortable saying it now than I did before. I was a stupid fucking kid who, between the ages of 10 and 16... No, yeah, between the ages of 10 and 18, I was in adult spaces role-playing in forums and sexting adults because I thought I was all that in a fucking bag of chips. I thought, hey, these adults are giving me attention. And so they're teaching me all of this stuff, and I didn't think anything wrong with it because I was a dumbass kid. And I was living in an age where adults were openly talking with kids. They were openly being like, hey, we're going to roleplay with these kids, we're going to talk with these kids and give our numbers to these kids and all that stuff. I was in that generation where I thought I knew better. I thought, yeah, I don't give a fuck of all these adults saying all this shit. I'm getting praise and I'm learning how to write. I'm learning how to be a better writer. I'm learning how to be a better role player. And that was all I could think about. Not necessarily the consequence of that I'm talking to an adult who should know better. That's the thing. And because I have that history, I know exactly what kids do when it comes to stuff that they shouldn't be involved with. There are some kids out there who will do everything in their power to get into adult spaces because they think they're all that in a bag of chips. They think they are mature enough. They think they can handle it. When really, they are not. They are not. If you are under 18, I would argue even if you're under 21. I would argue if you're under 21. But if you're under 18, you don't know shit. You do not know shit about the adult world. And I guarantee you, the moment you step in, it is a trauma that will never be erased from your body. It will never be erased from your body. It was never erased from mine. I can write very good smut. I can write very good sex. I can write very good inappropriate stuff. I know too much about the human body because of the shit that I learned as a kid. Being as an obnoxious little shit that I was. That is a trauma that will never go away. It will never go away. So for us, it's not about getting these companies to enforce ID rules or these censorship bullshit. It's for parents to step the fuck up and tell their child no. To put in place parental locks. To put in place actual parenting. To stop their kids from getting into these adult spaces. And if the kid goes, well, why not? Why not? Why not? Why not? Be a parent and explain why. Because it's not appropriate for them. There's a difference between learning about sexual education in an educational space where you're learning actual anatomy and the consequences of the human body versus going out of your way to look at porn, to go out of your way to access erotica, to go out of your way to figure out like the latest action flick and see all of the blood and gore that has recently come out with a lot of new stuff. There's a big fucking difference. And not many people think that there's a difference until they're in that situation. Until you're my age, almost 33, looking back at the 10-year-old you going, what the fuck were you thinking? What the fuck were you doing? Why were you in those gothic forums talking up those adults thinking you know all of that? It's like, no, you don't. You're a child. Be a child. It's like, the thing is, when companies and the government gets involved, all of a sudden, censorship becomes less about protecting kids and more about monitoring what people do and documenting dissent. That's literally all it is. By definition, protecting kids should be a parent issue. Should be a holding to whoever is watching that kid grow up and learn issue. It shouldn't be a government issue. It shouldn't be a political or company issue. It should be a parent issue. But the whole curtain of we gotta protect the kids is literally a curtain, because even if you somehow put up like this ID bullshit, if you somehow put up like you need to upload your ID, you know how many motherfuckers are using Death Stranding and Gmod to like pass through ID locks? You know how many people are doing that? And there are a mixture of adults and kids. So it's one of those things where your censorship is for the sake of protecting kids is going to be overthrown very easily. Very easily. So it's not about protecting kids, because kids can get through that shit very quickly. There are hackers that can do that shit. There are so many people that can get through an ID check. And I will even push it forward. I will even push it even further. There are people who make fake IDs for the sake of fake identities and fraud. You really don't think that kids, when backed against a wall, wanting to get into these spaces, won't just try and Photoshop an ID and use that? Like, come the fuck on. It's not about protecting kids. Kids already know what the fuck they're doing. It's about monitoring dissenters for any political party who's in control. It's monitoring people talking about activism. It's about people talking about things that should be talked about. It's about limiting free speech. Because why does the government need to know why I, a 33-year-old, am purchasing an adult game? Why? Well, what if that adult game is illegal? It's not. It's for sale. It's not illegal. Illegal stuff is instantly taken down. Or there's a lot of backlash that comes in that forces it to get shut down. Me buying like an adult game such as like Honey Pop. Yeah, Honey Pop's an adult game, by the way. So buying Honey Pop. Buying any new visual novel that's come out of Japan that has adult themes. Like buying even classic stuff that has a lot of adult themes in it. Why does the government need to give a shit about that? I, a 33-year-old. Like, come the fuck on. Maybe the government wants your recommendation on corn games. I mean, maybe. I don't know. But then you have companies. Like, why does a company need to know? When I, a 33-year-old, am trying to purchase something with a credit card or with a card that's linked to an adult ID already. Why? It's not about protecting kids. It's about monitoring dissenters when your political opposition is in control of a government. Because I don't know if anyone knows this, but I've been pretty fucking vocal about it. I'm a liberal. I'm a Democrat. Fuck the government right now because they're all a bunch of pedophile Republicans. I'm just saying. And I don't give a fuck if anyone, you can't say that. Yes, the fuck I can. Free speech. But that's what Republicans, or that's what the new governments around the world want to limit. They want to stop me from saying, fuck Donald Trump. They want me to stop insinuating that the government should fucking release the Epstein files. They want people like me, or anyone of that matter, who is very vocal about the inequality and injustices in the world, to stop speaking. They do not want us to speak. And so, by adding this new ID verification bullshit everywhere on the internet, they're basically saying, hey, we're going to document what you do. And the minute that we think you're up to something, we're just going to shut you down completely and make sure you don't speak in public again. They may even use stuff against me. I research a lot of shit as a writer. I've researched poisons. I've researched bombs. I've researched the ideas of superpowers in an actual reality department. I've researched body parts. I've researched sex. I've researched so much shit as a writer to make sure that my writing is valid and real and good. However, if all of a sudden this whole ID bullshit turns around and I piss off a government official, they can look at my search history and go, why were you researching about suicide drugs? Why were you researching about poisoning someone painlessly? Why were you doing all this? Why were you researching about burying a body 6 feet underground? Why were you doing X, Y, and Z? And I could be thrown in, questioned, and maybe even scapegoated to be like a fall guy for something. That's the problem with censorship. That's the problem with this ID upload everywhere bullshit. That's the bullshit that comes along with it. So, for me, I automatically am at the starting line of censorship is dumb as fuck. I am all for kids being protected. I'm all for kids being limited and blocked from adult spaces. I am all for that shit. All for it. But that's a parent's job. If a parent can't fucking protect their child, that's a fucking failed ass parent, and that parent should not be a parent. That parent should have their child taken away from them. However, this issue with the whole IDs and censorship thing has never been about kids. You want to know why? There is currently governments out there who are protecting pedophiles. The government won't even release the Epstein files. You want to talk about protecting kids? How about we start with the government officials, regardless of which side you're on, being exposed in the Epstein files? No? Oh, no, you don't want to release the Epstein files, but you want to say that you protect kids? Fucking be for fucking real. Anyone with an actual brain IQ above 2 can add 2 plus 2 to make a fish. It's about making sure that they can monitor and ID potential dissenters of the political factions that they are against. Republicans would love to ream people like me through the fucking coals, being pro-LGBTQ+, being a minority, being vocally against the wars that are happening across the seas right now. I am pro-Palestine. I am pro-Ukraine. I've been very vocal about that. I've been very vocal about fucking Israel needing to own up to that shit and maybe backing the fuck up. I'm all for telling Russia to fuck off of the Ukraine. And any oppressing country, I have the same opinion of. However they are oppressing people in their country or around them. My vocalizations of this are a threat to those who don't agree with me. Republicans, for example. The ones who are trying to push for funding Israel weapons or like backing up all of this like no travel bullshit. like what, like the full visa visiting tourist thing. Like, there's so many fucking things that are happening in the world right now that this censorship thing is just a mask for making sure that the government has some sort of ID on my opinions and will absolutely ream people like me through the coals if anything is like a question mark. So censorship is dumb. This ID system that's going rampant on the internet is very fucking dumb. Because as humanities, we have the power to say, no, it's fucking stupid, we'll go somewhere else. That's the only way we can fight back. Is that with Spotify, with YouTube, with any other place that's trying to implement these ID things, it's very easy for us to go, well, we can just go somewhere else. Some people, it might not be. Some people might find a reliance of income on like YouTube and all that stuff. It's a heavy weight to bear, and it's a heavy weight to carry, and that's the threat. Whereas like if you don't do this, you're gonna lose your livelihoods, you're gonna lose your safe space, you're gonna lose your like all of this fun stuff. But as a humanity, we need to come together to be able to say, no, fuck this and fuck you. Have parents monitor their kids properly like actual fucking parents, and leave the rest of us alone. It all starts with putting a mask over this whole thing, saying we are protecting the kids. We're not protecting the kids. This whole censorship thing is not protecting kids. It is a pure mask of a band-aid to hide the fact that governments and companies want to monitor what the fuck we do. That became a soapbox that I did not want to do, but there's my opinion on the matter. There is my fucking opinion on the matter. My opinion on the matter is censorship is dumb. Parents need to parent. And these ID checks that are coming in are dumb as fuck. Are absolutely fucking dumb. Because I, as a previous kid who broke into adult spaces thinking I knew better than the adults in my life, I have that experience in knowing that kids do not care about these ID checks. Kids that want into adult spaces do not give a fuck about your little ID checks. They will find a way around it. And again, I know because I was one of those stupid motherfuckers. And I am tainted by what happened. I am scarred and traumatized by what happened. And I would never wish that upon another child, but that's not the government's fucking job. That's not a company's fucking job. That is a parent's job. So don't lie about protecting kids. Get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here. Anyway. Yeah. So that's been me trying to deal with that, because all of that has also been affecting my work. Being that some of you know that ANBW is not a child-friendly game. It is a purely adult game. And because of all this political company bullshit, I now have to face the fact that there may come a day where I will have to not do that job anymore. Because there will be no money there. Because payment processors decided to be fucking asinine about where adult money goes. So that's where a lot of also my stress has been, guys. That's why me having to take that step back and trying to rebalance my life is also me prepping in case I lose a job. And that job is one of my major jobs. So it's not to say anything bad about ANBW. The team is fucking awesome. They're doing everything they can despite the political bullshit that's happening. But I'm also prepping in case all of a sudden we have no way to finance the game and I'm out of a job. So rather than me just try and go full speed ahead and trying to like grab every job I can and burn myself out, I'm trying to make sure the path ahead is healthy and the path ahead is something that I can sustain. Can I survive without doing NSFW work? Yes. If I stopped doing NSFW work, I'd still be fine. I work with so many cool people outside of the NSFW space that NSFW work is not a requirement for me to function as a creative freelancer. It is one that I enjoy, because I do enjoy the NSFW field, but I can survive. But I also have to make sure that I'm ready in case it does happen where I can't work on NSFW. Because of the whole political bullshit. So yeah. A lot of us are hurting right now. And that's what's been causing a lot of stress, and that's why I had to step back and figure this thing out. Now are all of you kind of seeing the domino effect of what's been happening in my life now? Are you all kind of seeing that? Like, it's not just like me working for multiple people. Again, that's the happiest bit. The happiest bit of my work is that I get to work with multiple fucking cool people. I get to work with an awesome team in a Nuppatoon world. I get to work with some fucking amazing clients like Vanta, Roy. I think I can announce it. Shoto. I think I can announce it. Well, if I can't, then I'm gonna get in trouble, and it's fine. I work with Rikami, Cottontail. I get to work with so many fucking cool people that it's not even funny. Like, I would not trade anything for those experiences. I am very humbled and very honored to work with them. It's just the whole stress of everything is kind of on a shaky plate of glass that I don't know if the glass is going to break. Because people want to be obnoxious in the political space. So I have to be prepared. I have to be ready. If I come back to streaming like part-time, I'm like, if I come back to stream part-time, then I come back to streaming part-time. That may be a thing. That may be a thing. Where like, hey guys, I'm going to come back to being a VTuber and being a proper VTuber and having a proper schedule to be able to stream for you guys. And then maybe I'll be able to play all the games that I like. But it will come at the detriment of the fact that I will lose a job that I really enjoy because of censorship laws and bullshit people trying to mask over what they're actually trying to do with children. So yeah. That's kind of where everything has been. That's kind of me opening the curtain being like, hey guys, this is my life. And mind you, this has happened before. Payment processors have tried to get involved before. That's how, like, a lot of rules on Patreon changed, and how a lot of people, like, on things on Newgrounds and all that stuff changed. Things have changed, and things have been questioned before, and we were able to push them back, being like, hey, fuck off. But now it's weirdly on a whole international scale, where all these, like, political parties are trying to introduce COSA and all that shit again. And we're just kind of like... It's literally us from SpongeBob going, how many times do we have to tell you this lesson? Teach you this lesson, old man? How many times do we have to teach you this lesson? So yeah, I'm hopeful that it'll be reverted back and then Collective Shout can go eat their own fucking pussies and just fuck off. But there is a chance that shit may change for the worse, and I have to prepare for it. I have to be ready to be like, hey guys, I lost my job and I can't work on NSFW stuff anymore, so I'm gonna go back to being a streamer. So it's like, because I do not have the resume to work a 9-to-5. I do not have the resume to go into customer service and being like, hey, here's my resume. I hope you hire me amongst others who against others who have better resumes than me. Because they're going to look at me like, well, what did you do? I wrote for a living. I was a freelance writer for a living. And I lost my job because of the new COSA laws. Or some sort of payment processing bullshit. So yeah. But this is I got from you on Pokemon card binder for something nice to say. Yeah, that's awesome. Love that. But yeah. So if you all wanted to know why, like, I needed to have that talk with you all, that's kind of the underlying reason why. Is because I want to make sure that everything is kind of squared away and settled and everything is healthy and I'm maintaining the best path forward that I can with the current situations around me. I love my jobs. I love working for A&BW. I love working for like Roy and Vanta and all my other clients. I love being able to write for a living. I love being able to voice act for a living. I love being called by directors out of nowhere being like, hey, can you audition for this thing? And I'll be like, yeah. And something fruitful comes out of it. I love that. I love it. It's my blood, my bread, and my butter. It's just that shit happens. And you wanted to vent to us technically because you're a therapist. Yes, you all are my therapist, apparently. What times we were gonna say? I don't know if we are. Because today was more of a talking situation and kind of an update situation for Game Dev Wednesdays, because there will be chances that some Wednesdays I may just be like, hey guys, we're not working on a game, or we're playing a game or something like that. Because right now, my brain's like, I need to get back to work. I need to get back to making sure I catch up on writing scripts, because I'm trying to make sure September is as free as possible. So I'm actually writing 8 scripts this month rather than just 4. So plus ANBW plus other clients. So I'm just like, I may just straight up be like, this is just an update stream and all that stuff. YouTube therapy. YouTube therapy. Does the VShojo dumpster fire impact your work with Project Melody? From what I know, no. I'm not involved in like any of the meetings about that. I don't know, other than the fact that nothing's changed. That's all I've been told is nothing's changed. We keep going. Fuck it, we ball. That's literally what we were told. So I was like, okay, fuck it, we ball. And so our priority now is making sure that AMBW is supported in other ways because of this whole censorship political bullshit. The VShojo bullshit that happened, which, by the way, my heart goes out to all of the talents. Fuck Gun Run. But the whole VShojo bullshit doesn't affect me. And it doesn't affect anything that I'm beholden to. So, but 8 and 4 scripts is increasing. Yeah, but that's because I want to make sure September is very free and very relaxed versus like me stressing out with my birthday. YouTube therapy. You make a better therapist than any of us. I just try and speak my shit. I try and speak my truth. That's all I can do, and that's what I encourage anyone to do. Speak your fucking truth. Speak your goddamn truth, because speaking your truth makes you real in reality and makes your stance a valid one. If you don't speak it, it's not the goddamn truth. The Super Rainbow, how are you liking the Gacha Horse game? Oh, I love it. I fucking love it. I'm trying to do, in my free time while I like write and all that stuff, I put Uma Musume up while I write, just to have something that's not work play for my brain, so that my brain can look over and be like, ooh, pretty colors. Okay, back into it I go. I'm trying to do a bunch of runs so that way I can prep Haru for an Arima Kinen focused run where I'm gonna beat the Arima Kinen before I even do my first run with her. So like, I haven't even touched Haru. Like, I haven't even like started her career, but I want to make sure that when I do her first run, she beats the Arima Kinen. So, yeah. How are you not both playing gacha games? It's called free. I play the free-to-play. I don't actually do the proper gacha. I don't spend money. I'm not a whale. The only game I've spent for gacha like, in the past, like, 2 years? 3 years, I think. Has been, Love and Deep Space. And also, what am I getting pinged for? Why am I getting yelled at? Give me a hot second, guys. Sorry. I look over at my phone, it says, fucking, hold on. I just need to laugh at, I need you guys to laugh at me. I look at my phone, I get a call from, where? The United States! The fuck does that mean? Because usually when you have a phone, like phone caller ID and all that stuff, it'll usually tell like either a name or a company or even like a generalized location, like actual like city location of where the call is coming from. Caller ID, United States. The fucking government was calling me. I'm like, what the fuck? Why is the government calling me? Are they listening in right now? Fuck now? They're like, oh, we're gonna grab this bitch while she's live. We're gonna fucking call this bitch while she's live. And so I look and see a voicemail, like, oh, a voicemail. Okay. Is it a voicemail saying your warrant is out for your arrest for being a dissenter and saying that the Republicans are pedophiles and that they're protecting Epstein files and they're protecting Donald Trump by not releasing the Epstein files? Something like that? And I'm like, okay, sure, click. I listened, that's why I muted. I listened to the fucking voicemail. I was like, this is your last chance to call for a 50% discount. I'm like, motherfucker, get the fuck out of my fucking phone. Get the fuck out. It's a spam call. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Get the fuck out. Oh my god. That's a great timed call. It's just like get a call from the United States in the middle of me talking about the censorship shit. Look at the fucking fucking voicemails like, oh, they're fucking waiting for my ass. I am the FBI. We're standing aside your door. Oh, you finally decided to reach out. Hello, FBI agent that's been monitoring me since like I started researching stuff as a writer. Hello. Oh my god. Oh god, that's funny. Like that's not funny. For me, it's hilarious. For me, it's hilarious. What if Trump is Megan Vicky fan and wants to meet you? No. Hell no. That fucker can, no. Get the, that fucking orange Cheeto can get the fuck away from me. I don't give a fuck. He touches kids. I don't give a fuck. Keep the fuck away from me. But like, anyways. Stop being You need to stop being mean to me, Michaela. Listen, I was recently on the roof of the White House. It was really nice. It was really nice. I thought I saw China from here. And like, I was just going for a nice walk on the rooftop of the White House. Everything's fine. Not a sign of dementia or anything. Not a sign of me being completely inept at being a job. I'm a president. You know, I actually bankrupted a bunch of casinos and businesses. But it's fine. People love me. They voted for me. They totally voted for me. And like, I totally didn't have Elon like change the voting machines or whatever like that to win and all that stuff. It's fine. Totally fine. Totally fine. I'm totally not in the Epstein files. If I wasn't in the Epstein files, it's been redacted. If it was redacted, I totally wasn't in it. But I know Joe Biden was in it. Guys, I'm so sorry. This entire stream has just been like one weird fucking like direction after another. But to anyone who's concerned about me, listen. I'm gonna be very upfront with y'all. I'll be very upfront with y'all. You can lock me in a prison cell. You can beat the shit out of me. You can hurt me until I'm at death's fucking door. You could scare the life out of me and make me terrified of humanity. I'm still going to keep writing. I'm still going to keep creating. I'm still going to be vocal. I'm still going to be unapologetic about me being vocal. Because as a human being living on this earth, I have a voice. And no motherfucker in this world, whether it be Donald fucking pedophile Trump, not even any political party that's running the White House or running the House or the Senate or the judiciary, it don't matter. Whether it be other fucking countries and their fucking opinions, whether it be a political commentator, whether it be other creative minds, whether it be Joe Snuffy down the road, doesn't fucking matter. No one gets to stop me from saying what I want to say, and no one can stop me from making what I want to fucking make. I don't give a fuck if you try and take my computer from me. I'll fucking write on pen and paper. Take that away from me, I'll grab a fucking rock and carve it into the earth. I don't care. If you want to get rid of me, know that I'll go down still saying my fucking truth. I'll go down still creating fucking stories I want to create. Because fuck you and the horse you rode in on. If you think you are above me to where you can silence me, to where you can stop my creative force, where you can stop my existence in any capacity. That's why when it comes to like, as me as a political figure and me, not me as a political figure, me as a creative figure and me as a public figure and all that stuff, me being publicly a creative, being publicly vocal about where I stand and all that shit, I'm not stressed anymore if anyone threatens me. I'm just gonna straight up say, at least I went out doing what I fucking wanted to do and wasn't a little bitch trying to silence others. I don't give a fuck. I'm gonna keep doing what I want to do. I'm gonna keep making what I want to make. I don't give a fuck if you make 1 million fucking AIs to try and fight me. I don't give a fuck. I'ma still keep going. And even if that means I don't make money off of it, it is what it is. I've produced shit for free. I made Seduce Me the Otome fucking free. People still laugh at me that I made Seduce Me the Otome fucking free. You really think I'm in this for the money? You think that I'm in this to, like, become a millionaire or something? I produce shit for free. I don't get paid for some of the stuff that I do. I've been underpaid my entire fucking life. What makes you fucking think that money is going to be the beholden thing that scares the shit out of me? What makes you think that threatening me will make me shut the fuck up? I do shit all the goddamn time for no reason from I am the gold ship. I am the gold ship of this fucking creative field. I do what I fucking want, and if I really tried, I could fucking do it to a masterful degree. But I do it because I fucking love it. I do it because that's my fucking truth, and that's what I want to do for the rest of my life, even if I do it for free forever. No matter what happens, I will laugh. I will win. I will win. And that even goes to the fact of if you take my fingers from me, I will use my voice. You take my voice from me, I will use my eyes, my ears. Even if you leave me limbless, lifeless, without sight, without voice, I will still live with the fictional stories I create, and I will laugh anyway. That's just the kind of bitch I am. How did you like putting Peak with Shadow Custom Mac and Cheese? I've liked it. It's okay. I'm not necessarily happy with how it came out, with how like it ran down, but that's not something I can control. So yeah. Yeah, so if anyone really needed like the comfort of that, I'm okay with that, I'm okay. I'll be fine. I always make it work. Sure, there's always gonna be that initial, oh shit, what do I do? But that's an initial, oh shit, what am I gonna do? Which is the step before, let's fix something. Rather than me sitting there going, oh god, oh god, oh god, what do I do? What do I do? What do I do? What do I do? I'm gonna have that moment because I'm human. But then I'm gonna take the next step and going, let's fucking go. Let's fix this. Let's do this. Let's go past this. We're done. Let's go. 2 steps. 1, 2. Now you're walking. Go forward. Something my sister taught me. You take 1 step forward, you're barely moving. 2 steps, you're walking. Go. You be Elton John, I still standing. Exactly. Don't you know I'm still standing better than I ever did? Yeah. When you retire, you're gonna have your father 157 kids? Yes. I'm going to father, not mother. Father 157 kids. Oh my god. Do you think you're gonna be playing Peak with him again? I don't know. I don't know. If I do, I will absolutely be, like, against crowd control. Because I think crowd control really screwed everything up. So, yeah. And that's my opinion. It's been long enough. I can say that opinion now. Will you adopt me? I'm a little bit overworked. I wouldn't be a really good mother, so I'm sorry. Mickey is dad. I am daddy now. I am not mommy. I am daddy now. I am daddy now, guys. No one's allowed to call me mommy anymore. I am daddy. And you can't call me auntie. If everyone still insists on calling me a direct parental figure, daddy's the one to do. I am daddy. Which is funny because I'm having a male version of myself come out soon. What? Anyways. We promise not to go out and get milk. Oh my god. Oh my god. No, you are mommy. No, I am daddy. What exactly is crowd control? It's basically when a crowd spends money to affect the game that you're playing. It's an optional feature. Peak has it, and while it can be fun, it also can absolutely ruin an experience, so, in my opinion. So I was just kind of like, don't go for cigarette. Don't go for cigarettes. It'll ruin the voice, just kind of like this. It'll ruin your voice just like this. All of a sudden, you'll have a chain smoker voice. And when your pec speed is bigger than the male form. Listen. I'm still in the design phase. I don't know how big my male titties are gonna be. But listen, when you guys meet Marcel, oh my god. I fully expect the daddies to come out. Oh my god. There's two milk jugs on her chest. But guys, can I just talk about that for like half a minute? I know this became like a Zatsu or something like that, but like, can I just talk about like that for like half a minute? Like, I'm excited that I get a male form now. That I'm like basically my art mama, NB Red, is going to make a design. Marcel. His name is Marcel. He is male storyteller. Don't leave to get the milk. I'm gonna call you uncle if that's what you want. If you're daddy, then who's kitten? Oh god, let me explain. So for those of you who don't know, I'm a demi woman. Basically, if you don't know what a demi woman is, think non-binary, but leaning more towards the femme side. But not necessarily beholden to being full-on femme. The reason I am a demi woman, not because anyone's like, well, you chose to be a demi. I didn't choose. I've lived my entire life with PCOS, polycystic ovarian syndrome, which escalated a lot of testosterone, lowered my estrogen, and essentially fucked me up mentally to where for the longest time, I actually wished I was a man. For the longest time, my body was kind of caving to where it wanted to see if I could be a man. I was growing facial hair. I was still very much overweight. I was growing hair where I shouldn't be. My emotional, like my feminine cycle was not happening. There was a moment in my life where 2 years I did not have a period. 2 years. No period. None. And usually this would raise red flags with a lot of people. It didn't raise any for me. For me, it was natural. Like, because mentally I compartmentalized that I didn't need a period. Why? Why would I need a period? I'm not a woman. I didn't accept that I was a woman. So, for the longest time, I've been saddled with battling what I am as a gender. And so, when I finally got diagnosed with PCOS, and I finally figured out what the fuck was wrong with me, and I was able to get on medications where I can finally feel like a woman, it came down to me looking back at myself going, well, I was still happy not being a woman. I was still happy and all that stuff, regardless of the shitty situation I was in. And so, I've always imagined there was like a masculine part of me that's always been there. And so, Marcel is essentially that man. Marcel is essentially the masculine side of me that I've lived with the majority of my life. Where if I had any point become a man, Marcel would be him. So, when I split into two, it'd be both. Well, listen, like, that's why, again, it's a little complicated as to why Marcel exists. Marcel exists for two reasons. One, because he is the masculine side of me that I've lived with for so long, that he deserves his own existence. That he deserves, essentially, to be real, in a sense, where, like, he's recognized. Because for the longest time, I was Marcel and Michaela. I was kind of there in between. Then comes the labor that he has to carry. A lot of trauma in my life have been centered around men. Have been centered around men either grooming me, abusing me, or having power over me. So Marcel is also a catalyst for the reason I have hypersexuality. So his design we haven't fully fleshed it out yet. Me and our mama are still going through it. But the one thing I wanted to add for Marcel is that he would carry the harder labor of my hypersexuality. So he's a yandere. Marcel is going to be a yandere-based male persona for me. Where, in lore, storyteller is the one who, like me, is the one who's kind of like making all these stories, working very hard, focusing up on doing the job, and loving every minute of it. Marcel, storyteller, is essentially going to be the very sexual yandere, like manhwa male love interest that's like prince in public, absolutely a freak. And Marcel, I think, is a perfect catalyst to carry that. Because a lot of people look at me, they're like, oh, you have history with yandere and all that stuff because of your history with Yandere Simulator, and you have a lot of history with NSFW. And I'm like, yeah, I do. But storyteller doesn't necessarily have to, like, divulge into all of that, but that existence does relate somewhere. So Marcel, being both my masculine side and also kind of the masculine influence in my life, is a perfect carrier for that labor to be a yandere hypersexual like man slut of a man to exist. So that's why Marcel is a little interesting. And if the design goes really well, and if we hit a certain goal in my birthday donathon, then I might make him a VTuber model. I might make him a model that I can use when I'm just not necessarily within my fem energy. So the Doses Quiz version of me. But yeah, so it's a very interesting conversation that I've had with myself, and that I've had with kind of accepting him again. We will get a daddy son. Yeah, basically, me joking that you're gonna call me daddy is like, yeah, the hope is to get daddy soon. But I basically gave Art Mama freedom of deadline. Basically, like, take your time, design him whenever you want. There's no rush on this. Marcel may or may not come soon. Who knows? But should my birthday donathon go well, then he may become a VTuber model, not just a design. The daddy will come home with the milk soon. Oh my god. Sounds like you're doing what you need to do is explore not so great mental space. Absolutely. Like, I've sat with it for years. And I still have people who don't believe that I'm a demi-woman simply because I do have a figure that has, like, big tits, and I talk about women, and I talk about men, and it's just like, some people still don't believe I'm a demi-woman. I am a demi-woman. I've lived with a masculine side of me for a very long time, and I was very happy in that form. I was very happy in that situation. The only reason I wasn't happy is when I myself had those bouts of, but I want to be a woman. But I want to be the XX chromosomes that I have. But I do have to accept that I was happy there. So, yeah. Look forward to meeting Marcel, whatever that shit. I would love Marcel to come sooner rather than later. But I want to make sure my Art Mama is not stressed about it. So, yeah. In this case, we're probably gonna have 2 storyteller personas. Yeah, it'll be very interesting. Are we talking about kinky way or what? I thought you know, in a sexuality way. I don't do like sexual energy fall in love with something. MKU. I need to explain a thing. I'm still demisexual, but me expressing like positive favored opinions about other people is not me wanting to bed them. It's just me stating the facts. People are hot. But I don't get aroused by anything beyond my partner, because my partner is close enough to where I can get those feelings. Anyone else, doesn't matter what gender you are, doesn't matter who you look like, what you do, and all this stuff, Doesn't faze me. I'm still gonna say a person's fucking hot. I'm still going to be flustered when there is a genuine, like, attempt at charm. But am I going to be aroused? No. No! Well, when I do have bouts outside of my husband, it's due to my hypersexuality. You could call it kick delicious and not wanting. Exactly! But when it comes to, like, those bouts of hypersexuality, that's not a sexuality, as I need to remind everyone. Hypersexuality is a trauma-induced mental disorder that comes from trauma, which I have experienced, unfortunately. And so I do have bouts of hypersexuality where I just can't control it. But it's not based on anyone's looks or charm or like, ooh, that person's hot, I want to bed them. It's more of just, it just happens when you're like, whoop, you're horny now. It's like, stop. But yeah. Yeah. Oh my god, this entire stream has just been like, this entire stream has just been a roller coaster of, hey guys, I need to let you know that I'm changing my schedule. Oh, by the way, censorship sucks. Oh, by the way, Donald Trump sucks. Oh, by the way, I have a masculine form soon. This stream has been weird. I miss you guys. I miss you all. I do. I miss streams like this. I miss streams where it's not like the expectation of working or the expectation of playing a game. I just want to talk to y'all. Sometimes I just want to yap. I want to talk. I want to vibe. Maybe if I do get another costume for a storyteller, it'll just be a cozy outfit where I'm just like, we're just gonna vibe. We're gonna chill. We're gonna talk. We're gonna yap. I miss yapping with y'all. I do. I miss yapping with y'all. We're therapists. Is that the new, like, theme of the next stream of that with a costume change? Is just instead of this room, it's gonna be like a therapy office, and it's just gonna be me laying back on like a therapy chair. That's gonna be the new background, is me laying on a therapy chair like, listen doc, I've been having feelings lately and they've been mighty big, and I'm a little itty bitty baby. I can't handle all my big feelings. Oh my god. Ah, Jesus, my Christ. Ah. Oh my lord. I guess who kittens, they were absolute messes. Nice! We love kittens though. We love kittens. But oh my god. I miss you guys. I miss just I honestly miss when I did streaming and I just chilled and vibed with you guys. We just played fucking video games, or we just shot the shit and just talked and just rambled. I can't wait to bring that back in full force. I really cannot wait to bring that back into full force. I didn't realize how much I missed y'all until I got all these other jobs. And while I am very grateful, it's still something I absolutely miss. I want to go back to play 100 Line. I want to go back to play Date Everything. I want to start like some new games. I want to play some new stuff. And so I miss y'all. I really miss y'all. But I will still say I like my other jobs. I like my other jobs a little bit to prioritize them more. Like I just got like I'll express this. I just got done writing some really cool shit for Vanta, and he has yet to tell me whether it's good or not. But he already talked about it on his stream. So like a good morning ASMR. He talked about his stream. I can say it. It's public. It's not like he did it members only. Like I've got that, a couple of other things. I have a lot of things on the docket for Roy's. A cup of dusk voice. I can read words. Read? I'm not even reading. It's the words in my head. Michaela, please, you're going nuts. Oh my lordy loo. There's times you need to follow your own laws. The Michaela laws. Hey. Where are my cats? They're hiding because my family just came home and they're scared little shits. I love them in bits though. I love them in bits. If you wanted to scare someone, would you go boo or booga? Boo. Boo. There are 5 lights. There are 4 lights. Oh my god. But anyways. That's mainly all I had to say. And quite frankly, if you guys... I thought we were doing something with game dev. Yeah, but then I wanted to kind of elucidate some things. This stream will be up so you can catch up later, but I kind of want to be selfish right now. I kind of really need some time to myself right now. So I may restart stream if we want to do some Uma Musume? Or maybe I'll just play it on my own while I just vibe. Maybe I'll just vibe. Because I kind of do need to self-care. Especially with all the shit that's been going on. And I think this is a good, like, I want to see the first game. I can do one run. I can do one run. Should I do one run? Then you all can, like, yell as we deal with horses for one run. Then I'll just go fuck off the rest of the night. No, you know, I'll get off. I'll get off. And that way I can also just kind of lay in bed for a little bit and take a nap before my next shift. Because the way one of my jobs has me on hourly like check-in, check-out shift, and so I gotta make sure I'm actively awake during check-in and check-out. With games we think about streaming, well, I want to get back to 100 Line and I want to get back to Date Everything. Those two mainly. I know that when Rhythm Heaven comes out, we're playing Rhythm Heaven. I know that I want to eventually try Claire Expedition 33. I do want to play a bunch of indie games that came out, etc., etc. Check it. What is it, McDonald's? No, it's a very hard system to make sure that I meet my hours. So just like, yeah. So, if you want to, it would be hours later. Yeah. So I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go. Did you ever watch a movie called K-Pop Hunter? Yes, I did. I did watch K-Pop too. But let's go ahead and send you all somewhere. Give my love. You'll give my love. Go give my love to Hades. Hades is going through it. Give some love to Hades. Positive energy to Hades. And then on YouTube side, go say hi to Xander. Xander's going through a zomboid run. And anyways, I'm gonna go now. I'm gonna go vibe. Anyways, thanks all for coming. Have wonderful dreams. I'll see you all. Love you all.